France says drone incident near aircraft carrier would be provocation if Russian link confirmed. Indian president takes sortie in country's first indigenous combat helicopter. Longest in history. Key takeaways from Trump's State of the Union address to Congress. World must not normalize use of force. Cambodia wants de-escalation, PM. France says there is no proof Russia was behind a drone incident near its aircraft carrier currently docked in Sweden. French Foreign Minister Jean-Noël Barrot said that if Russia were responsible, it would amount to a ridiculous provocation. He also confirmed that the security of the French warship was never threatened. The Swedish military neutralized an unidentified drone earlier this week, after it was detected more than 10 kilometers from the French aircraft carrier near the city of Malmö. Sweden's defense minister Paul Johnson said the drone may have violated Swedish airspace and could be linked to a Russian military vessel operating in nearby waters. Swedish forces took countermeasures to disrupt the drone, but it was not recovered, and no further drone activity has been reported. The incident comes amid increasing drone activity across several NATO countries in Europe, some of which have been linked to Russia. India's President Draupadi Murmu flew aboard the indigenous light combat helicopter Prachand during a demonstration mission in Rajasthan. The helicopter took off from the Indian Air Force station in Jaisalmer, with the president dressed in a flying suit and helmet and waving from the cockpit before departure. The light combat helicopter Prachand, developed by Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, is part of India's effort to strengthen self-reliance in defense manufacturing. After the flight, President Murmu described the helicopter as a symbol of India's growing indigenous military capability. The helicopter is designed for high-altitude combat operations and can perform missions such as anti-tank strikes and close air support. The 25-minute mission was conducted in a two-helicopter formation. President Murmu flew in the lead aircraft alongside Group Captain Nayan Bahua, while Air Chief Marshal A.P. Singh and Group Captain A. Mahendra flew in the second helicopter. U.S. President Donald Trump delivered a record-length address to a joint session of Congress on February 24, focusing heavily on the economy ahead of the November midterm elections. The speech lasted 1 hour and 47 minutes, making it the longest presidential address to Congress on record. It came amid rising tensions with Iran and growing voter concerns over the cost of living. President Trump highlighted issues such as housing, healthcare, utility costs, crime, and retirement, and promoted plans to reduce drug prices and provide direct federal payments to Americans. He also said tariffs would continue to generate government revenue under new legal authority. Trump argued that inflation, mortgage rates, and gas prices are declining, while stock markets, oil production, investment, and construction jobs are growing. However, official data shows inflation increased last year and job growth remained weak, while many Americans continue to face higher food and housing costs. Recent polling indicates 56% of voters disapprove of Trump's handling of the economy, compared with 36% approval. The United Nations Human Rights Chief has warned that the use of force to settle disputes is becoming increasingly normalized, as armed conflicts continue to rise worldwide. Speaking at the United Nations Human Rights Council, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Volker Turk said the number of armed conflicts has nearly doubled since 2010, reaching about 60 conflicts globally. Turk warned that the world is becoming more dangerous, with growing competition for power, territory, and resources undermining human rights. He criticized political leaders who use power for their own interests and fail to take urgent action to reverse current trends. He also expressed concern that some governments are undermining international institutions, including the United Nations and international courts. Turk highlighted the increasing impact of conflict on civilians, noting that attacks on healthcare facilities now occur at an average of about 10 per day. Cambodia's Prime Minister Hun Manet says his country is seeking a peaceful resolution to its ongoing border dispute with Thailand, following renewed tensions between the two neighbors. Speaking in Brussels, Hun Manet said Cambodia wants de-escalation and peaceful coexistence, after Thailand accused Cambodian forces of violating a December ceasefire agreement. Cambodia has denied the allegation. Thailand's military said Cambodian troops fired a grenade near a Thai patrol, prompting return fire. However, Phnom Penh insists Thai forces have entered Cambodian territory and has called for their withdrawal. Clashes along the disputed border last year killed dozens of people and displaced more than 1 million residents during fighting in July and December. Hun Manet said Thai forces had advanced beyond the areas even Thailand considers part of its territory, but stressed that Cambodia remains committed to diplomatic solutions rather than military action. The dispute dates back more than a century and is linked to French colonial-era border demarcations along the 800-kilometer frontier between the two countries.